Dale Earnhardt Jr. suggested that the car store adopt a testing ban and potentially do one-day shows with no support classes and be finished by 10 p.m. He made this suggestion over on X in a back and forth with elite pole performance driver Doug Barnes Jr. It came after Barnes took exception to the testing fee at Cordele, where the car store will be at this weekend. Barnes posted this: testing today for this weekend's car store race. Usually it's about $150 to $200 a day to test, but Cordele is welcoming us with a nice $125 an hour. Thanks for the hospitality, Cordele. Junior says, I don't run the track, but I do know this. This wasn't news for you today. All teams on the conference call earlier this week were made aware and told to plan accordingly. We have this person here, Adam, chiming in, says, that's beside the point. I think you realize that. It still doesn't mean it's not a crappy move from the track. Junior said, I don't love it, but he's acting surprised when his team knew this info and still showed up today to test. Obviously, Doug was there testing as he shared a photo of his car at the track. And you can see Minnie Tyrell, who we had a run-in with 2 weeks ago, behind him there. Anyways, Doug responded to that saying, I'm not acting surprised at all. It's absurd to charge us that much for testing. Maybe it's a Southern thing, but I've never seen it this high anywhere ever in late model stocks. I can almost guarantee some people didn't come today just because of that price, not the distance to get here. And then Junior said, it's unfortunate that it's that high for sure. Didn't see that on the radar. Maybe a testing ban is the way. I'd rather us not be testing and practicing so much. One-day shows, no support classes, done by 10 p.m. And then he says, don't let this be the story of this weekend, though. Too much hard work went into this weekend from a series standpoint. Now, I doubt this will be the takeaway from this weekend. Obviously, it is clearly a storyline heading into the weekend, but everything I've seen from the car store, the racing will be what people will talk about at the end of the weekend, and maybe some drama on the track between some of the drivers as well. But it wasn't just Dale Earnhardt Jr. Talking about maybe going to a no testing and just kind of race what you brung kind of thing, and just have at it. This is over at Short Track Scene from Matt Weaver. He says it's worth noting that series co-owner Kevin Harvick took exception to the public discourse about it when everyone in the garage has his and Earnhardt's cell phone numbers. He also wrote, in various conversations with car store leadership, everyone recognizes that this particular price point probably wasn't in the best interest of the series, especially after it undercut the starting money increase to entice teams to make the trip further south in the first place. The likes of Harvick and series executive director Kip Childress says they are already exploring all manner of future policy, from a week-out testing ban or series-enforced testing fee minimums, while also conceding that bans are hard to enforce. So that is something that they are exploring. It's not just Dale Earnhardt Jr. positing that. Obviously, Kevin Harvick, Kip Childress are also looking into that as well. Landon Huffman actually spoke to Weaver, and he says that he's totally in favor of the testing ban, and kind of offered his experience that he's had with the Smart Modified Tour. And he says, it sucks, but I only ran 3 hours, and I think we have too much practice anyway. So in my opinion, I just did the minimum, and I wasn't going to buy a mock-up set because it's already too expensive. I made sure our car unloaded good, and it is what it is. Hopefully the car store will look at some changes, and I have encouraged Dale in the series to look at a test ban of some sort, because I have been a strong advocate of how Smart Tour does everything, one-day shows, and a ban 1 week before the race. So that Landon Huffman is in favor of that. There were also some other drivers here talking about how outrageous the fees are. Weaver spoke to Brandon Pierce, and he says, I think it's a little steep for the testing fee? I absolutely do. But at the same time, and I'm very vocal about this topic, and that everyone made a choice to come here yesterday. No one made you come down here and test from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then he also spoke with Ryan Millington, and Millington said the testing fee was outrageous. That's why everyone started talking about it. Most of the tracks we go to is anywhere from 100 to 300 a day, and we were 125 an hour for a minimum 3 hours, so it's pricey. So obviously, people are not, the drivers, teams, not happy with the pricing, but they still showed up anyways. Obviously, they are supporting the Cars Tour. They are chasing a championship. Not really much they can do about that other than kind of express their distaste for it and let the series executives and owners know about it. I do find it interesting. I'm going to go back here to that. This part here, it's worth noting that series owner Kevin Harvick took exception to the public discourse about it when everyone in the garage has his and Earnhardt's cell phone numbers. I'm wondering if people were obviously upset on the call. And then, I do think that there is something to making a public show of it, because that does seem like quite a bit. And maybe there's other things at work. Maybe people maybe don't want to go to Cordele anymore, or Cordele, however it's called, and they want to make it still stay more of a regional series here in North Carolina and up into Virginia, and obviously in Florence there in South Carolina and the tracks they go down there. So maybe there's something to that as well. But clearly, a big talking point heading into the weekend there for the Cars Tour race. I think it would be interesting to see if they would do this ban. I know that a lot, like you saw Dominion Raceway completely scrapped their late model division because it was getting way too expensive for the local drivers. The car counts were really low, and so now they're running a limited late model as their top division. So I think that, obviously there's lots of factors that go into it, but clearly I think practice costs add up, and going to this one-day show, no support classes done by 10 p.m., I think that is a good idea. We see that a lot with the dirt late models, right? Obviously, there are practice days for some events, specifically even this upcoming weekend here at Farmer City. The Outlaws had a practice day yesterday, but that's not always the case, right? You look at the 12th annual Spring National at Wheatland at Lucas Oil Speedway. They did not have a practice day, and they're just going to be racing tonight and tomorrow night. So I think that is a good thing, and get those shows done by 10 p.m. I think that is really important too. It's really, especially for us people here on the East Coast. I get it. I can understand it when you're maybe Central Time, maybe when you're out even further up in like North Dakota or whatever. I get that. You might run a little bit late, but getting those shows done on the East Coast by 10 p.m., I think that is really important to get that done. Because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but 10 o'clock is kind of my bedtime. I got kids. We usually stay on a schedule. They're on a schedule. They're getting up. So I gotta stay on the schedule even on the weekend. There is no real sleeping in. So I really like this idea. I actually hope the Cars Tour pursues it. I think this is actually something positive that comes out of it. And maybe they didn't like this, but I do kind of like the idea that this is something that is being talked about and is being discussed. And clearly we see that some drivers are in favor of it, such as Landon Huffman. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below.